Taxonomy is a classification system, and in this case the EU Taxonomy will be a classification system for economic activities that meet environmental objectives. And so, for example, it would be a list including things like energy supply and transport vehicles or manufacturing of steel or cement, and it will recognise the level of environmental performance that these activities must have in order to meet environmental goals, like limiting warming to well below 2 degrees. So the taxonomy addresses 6 environmental objectives. They are climate mitigation, climate adaptation, water, pollution prevention and control, circular economy, and biodiversity. And of course, it's important in this modern time that when we're addressing environmental objectives, we think about all of them. It's no good just trying to address one environmental objective and creating problems somewhere else. Now, we need this taxonomy in the financial community because we're not always as experienced at understanding what the environmental performance should be. So it provides us a common language and we can use it in our investment activities. So the taxonomy recommendation was made by the high-level expert group on sustainable finance back in 2017 and 2018. And it was one of over 20 reforms to the financial system that were proposed to improve the sustainability of the way investors and financiers work. And then the European Commission took that recommendation and included it in the Action Plan for Financing Sustainable Growth. And the taxonomy was the #1 recommendation in that plan, and now something called the Technical Expert Group on Sustainable Finance is implementing this taxonomy. It's designing it so that it can be used by the market. The TEG, or the Technical Expert Group on Sustainable Finance, is a group of 35 experts from finance, industry, the NGO and scientific community that was brought together by the European Commission to work out what a taxonomy should include. Now, this group, as good as it is, needed additional expertise if we were going to develop something really substantial. And so we invited 160 additional experts to contribute in workshops and provide evidence to the TEG, so we could consider what the right level of criteria were for each industry that we were including in the taxonomy. The report includes a user's guide, so a short report, and readers should start with that because it explains what the taxonomy is and how it should be used in practice, and that's the important story. But in addition, there's this very detailed set of criteria that explain what level of environmental performance would be required. So if I'm an investor or a finance person using the taxonomy, I need to understand a couple of things. The first is that I need to look at the list of activities and understand if I'm invested in these activities. If I want to sell an investment product that has environmental characteristics, these are the types of activities I should be looking for. Now, I might have my own way of working that out, and that's fine. The taxonomy is like a comparative tool that can be used. So start with the list of activities. When you want to make an investment decision or make a disclosure about your fund, you should look at the detailed criteria and understand what level of emissions is okay for gas-fired power, or understand what level of emissions is okay for a bus or freight transport system. And if you're investing in steel or cement companies or chemical companies, have an understanding of what level of energy performance is acceptable for those. And then wrap all that up into your financial process, your investment process, or into the disclosure for your product, and then you can take it to market. So the first thing is that investors should look at the taxonomy and see if they can use it today, because it has a lot of useful information in it, and it will help investors understand how they can get some allocation to the right activities in a low carbon transition. But in addition, there will soon be an obligation to disclose the approach taken in the fund. And so investors should look out through PRI's website or in contact with us at the PRI about exactly how the disclosure obligation will affect them in the coming months. And start to think about how to make those disclosures to your clients and how you could relate that disclosure to what's in the taxonomy. Now, if you want more information on the taxonomy, you can do an internet search for EU Sustainable Finance Taxonomy. And if you want to speak to the PRI about using this in investment processes, you can contact us through our website.